Shadow banking, financial intermediaries that lend money just like banks but aren't regulated like banks. And in China, these kinds of risky financial transactions are more prevalent than ever now. Eunice Yoon has more on the concerns about the proliferation of a shadow banking system in China and why regulators there should be worried.
When you first meet Liu Yannan, it's hard to believe he's a shadow banker. With experience at a Wall Street firm, Liu now runs a website in Beijing that matches companies in need of cash with small-time investors willing to lend.
So I don't know why in China people tend to think that shadow banking is so scary, shadow banking is bad.
Many find shadow banking scary because they fear it could threaten China and the world. This unregulated industry encompasses all sorts of untraditional financing, everything from private citizens lending spare savings to indirect or off-balance sheet loans from banks.
Now that we see banks offloading more and more assets into these hidden channels, it is difficult for anybody, the regulators, us, to really know what the positions are of banks or borrowers. And I think it's a very important point that the market is missing. An increasingly large share of the picture of what's going on in China is happening in this black box.
This investment trust officer knows what's happening in the black box. She agreed to be interviewed, but only if we masked her identity.
70% of our business is shadow banking. Through trust companies, the banks change the property of their loans so the bad debts don't show up on their balance sheets.
Investment trust companies are less regulated and sell high-return wealth management products based on riskier investments.
Of course, we are very afraid of the risks. It won't be that risky unless the economy runs into trouble.
That's exactly what this banker is worried about.
I feel that at some point the bubble will burst and we will see a systematic financial crisis like the subprime crisis that occurred in America in 2008.
With China now in one of the biggest credit booms in modern history. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Eunice Yoon in Beijing.